Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. I am Val, aka the Filter Free Mama. In today's video, I have 4 recipes that are family friendly, budget friendly, and time friendly. They all come together within 30 minutes or less, and they are so good. So without further ado, let's get into some cooking.
All right, you guys, so the first thing we are going to start with is our sausage, kale, and beans. So what we have is 1 onion, 2 diced Roma tomatoes, about 8 ounces of kale, and a package of the Alfredo chicken sausage. I used jalapeno, but anything would work here. And then we are going to dice a green onion and drain and rinse our cannellini beans. To a preheated skillet, we're gonna add about a tablespoon of salted butter, a tablespoon of oil, and then we're gonna cook our onions, put a little salt in there. Like I always say, soften up your veggies with some salt, and we're gonna cook that down for about 4 minutes. Now we're gonna add our chicken sausage at this point, and here I actually used way too much of this seasoning. I love it, it's really good, but it just came out way too salty for us. So I would suggest here using 1 tablespoon of Creole seasoning instead of 2. Add in 1 tablespoon of garlic paste, and then we're going to add in our cannellini beans. And 1 tablespoon of better than bouillon. You guys know how much I love my better than bouillon. Of course, you can use a bouillon cube at this point too. Put in your diced tomatoes, 1.5 cups of water, and we're going to mix that all around, and then we're gonna add our kale. So after you saute the kale in there for about 3 or 4 minutes, you just bring it to a simmer and pretty much it's ready to go. I served it on the side with a nice little salad. Like I said, it was a little too salty for us because I did put too much Creole, so just make sure you're tasting as you go. But it was still a good dinner. So up next, we have our sausage spinach Alfredo, and I made this with oat milk, which is actually really good, so don't knock it till you try it. First thing we're gonna do is we're going to brown up our sausage. I always love the pre-ground sausage, so if you can find that, that's awesome. If not, you can always use the links and break them up. So while you're waiting on your sausage, you're going to cook up some pasta. You can use whatever you'd like. I used chickpea just to keep it somewhat healthy for my husband, and he loves the chickpea pasta. So gotta make him happy sometimes too, right? So in the meantime, I am taking out all of the sausage out of the pan, and then I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of butter and 2 tablespoons of flour. And this is going to create the roux that will thicken up the sauce. So I totally forgot to record this part, but I put 1.5 cups of the oat milk in here, and I added it slowly. This way it had time to thicken up, and I put in some salt, a good helping of pepper, and I whisked it until it was no longer lumpy. Now we are going to add our spinach. I used about 2 cups of spinach, and I am just going to add the sausage back in, mix that all up, and then we're gonna toss it with the pasta. And yeah, this was a super simple, healthy meal. Pretty much I just put the pasta on the bottom of a big serving dish, and I put the sausage and spinach on Alfredo on top. So it came out really good. Like I said, don't knock oat milk until you try it. It is so healthy and so good for you. And this was one of my husband's favorites too. next recipe. It's a sheet pan sausage and veggie. Now, I love this recipe because you can literally use whatever kind of vegetables that you want. It is so versatile, and I had to get rid of all of this stuff that was in my fridge, so this is what I use. So use whatever you have. You can make this however you want. So I just used some cauliflower, some peppers, onions, and I also use some jalapeno peppers and some zucchini. So to my lined baking sheet, I lined it with some nonstick foil, which is the best invention ever, by the way. And I am just going to put all my veggies, I'm going to lay it out in an even layer, and I am going to just put my sausage on top, and then I am going to put a tablespoon of olive oil and about a tablespoon of this amazing seasoning, which is by Kinder's, and it is wood fire garlic, and it is so freaking good, you guys. I actually got it on sale. It was 99 cents. It's usually $4 each, and I got like 3 different flavors, but this is by far my favorite. If you haven't tried it, definitely try it because it is so good. After it's all mixed up, put some salt and pepper to taste, and then we are going to bake this for 25 minutes or until the vegetables are nice and soft. I forgot to say, bake it at 375 degrees for 25 minutes. So like I said, this recipe is so versatile, and I didn't have any rice. Actually, I did. I just didn't feel like cooking it. So I used some spinach that I had in the fridge that had to get used, and I just served this over the spinach, and it was so healthy and delicious, and it was so filling. So you can use whatever you want. You could put it over pasta, you could put it over some rice, whatever you want, but it was really good, and it would be cool if you gave it a try. I think you would love it. So this beef and broccoli recipe, I actually didn't use the cornstarch or the ginger. I completely forgot. I was just having one of those mommy days. So first thing we're gonna do is get our stuff chopped up, our steak and our broccoli, and then we are going to marinate the steak for a couple minutes. This is a point where you would have put the ginger in, and I just forgot. I had it right in front of me too. I just forgot. But I used a tablespoon of garlic, and then I used the coconut aminos. And I just let that marinate for a few minutes. So to a preheated skillet, I am going to add a tablespoon of the toasted sesame oil. Here you can use whatever kind of oil you want, but I love the flavor that it gives. So I'm just going to brown the beef for about a minute per side. After it's all brown, you're going to take your meat out, and then we are going to put in our broccoli with 1/3 cup of water, and we're going to cover it and steam it for about 3 minutes or until the broccoli is soft. I am going to add in my sesame PF Chang's flavor. I used about half of the bottle, maybe a little bit less than half. I will have these recipes on my blog once I get my blog up and running, so bear with me, but I will make sure that I link them once my blog is up. This way you guys can follow the recipes. If you do have questions about it, feel free to message me. I will be happy to give you the recipes. So anyway, we're just gonna add our beef back in, and yeah, this is pretty much how fast this meal came together. Serve it over some rice, and you have a well-rounded meal. I did top it with a little bit of sesame seeds, and this was another meal that was absolutely delicious. Less than 30 minutes to come together. I truly hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I love making these videos, and if you have questions on any of these recipes, like I said, feel free to message me. Thank you so much again for watching, you guys. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next video.